About the time we think we know something about tornadoes, Mother Nature teaches us a new lesson.
This is a large tornado that is now moving into Cleveland County.
The sky is absolutely full of debris.
It was no longer about having good television, and instead it turned into providing life-saving information. We are not trying to put fear, but we want you to know how serious of a storm this is.
Take your tornado precautions. That means you need to be below ground if at all possible.
This is a violent, deadly tornado. Please take cover if you're in the path of this thing.
Most tornadoes don't end up causing much death and destruction, but there are some memorable ones that do. The May 20th, 2013 Moore, Oklahoma tornado was certainly one of those few memorable ones.
Listen to it! You can hear it! Listen!
Breaking news, Oklahoma communities in shambles, neighborhoods leveled, hospitals go into crisis mode.
The tornado was an EF5, the strongest on the enhanced Fujita scale. It packed winds more than 200 miles per hour and caused 24 fatalities and cost $2 billion in damage. The Ohio State Meteorology Club was in Oklahoma storm chasing on spring break and were able to see the tornado form near Newcastle on its perilous journey to Moore.
But now look what it already is after being on the ground for maybe 2 minutes. And we are just almost at this point, our excitement, no more OHIO.
Meteorology Club President John Bangoff was amazed at how fast the twister grew into a beast.
We're feeling that distinct joy and realizing that this is going to be a big tornado in a matter of about 5 minutes. As we're looking back at pictures and all that stuff now, it grew from just a very narrow tornado touching down to a full-on wedge tornado. A feeling I will never forget, watching this tornado grow and realizing what was happening.
And look at this. So we have the touchdown.
Video was shown at the Severe Weather Symposium at OSU of the Meteorology Club enjoying their successful tornado chasing day. It didn't take long to realize this storm was nothing to be happy about.
It was whitish gray, and then you begin to see the thing start taking on debris and darken. And that's when it really set in the magnitude of this event and that it was no longer just a meteorological phenomenon, that it was actually affecting people.
I am supporting the Meteorology Club with this t-shirt because the tornado they witnessed certainly did a lot of damage. Briarwood and Plaza Towers elementary schools, plus about 1,000 homes were all destroyed, and almost 400 people were injured. After the tornado, a lot of pieces needed to be picked up.
Sitting in the driveways and have nowhere to go, Chris. You kind of put yourself in their shoes. What would you do if that was your house? You have nowhere to go. You just sit there in your driveway and you just kind of wonder what just happened.
John and the Meteorology Club then looked for ways to help.
And so I knew that there was a need that we could, reach out and help and give back. That evening and then the next day, there was plenty of local outpouring of support, all kinds of donations, all kinds of blood being donated. And we realized that our efforts locally at the time were probably not necessary. There was just an overflowing amount of people reaching out. And as people who were not from around there, it was better that the local people could help in the immediate relief efforts. So that's when our ideas for a long-term effort began. Again, I had suggested, hey, maybe we should do a week trip back here.
And that's exactly what they did. During spring break in March, some members of the Ohio State Meteorology Club returned to Oklahoma to help with the rebuilding efforts. Norman, Oklahoma National Weather Service meteorologist Rick Smith said the event hit home and affected neighboring communities.
This is a movie theater, where do you go, or the hospital, where do you go? And so it was more of a personal touch with this event than any other one I've ever worked.
So we also had the opportunity to go back to the same field where we were in when we saw the tornado touchdown. The same tree, the same, everything basically, and it was really cool to be back there in that same location, reliving some of those memories of all the emotions that came tornado touchdown and then continue to grow.
John was happy that they can make a difference by returning back to the Oklahoma City suburb.
Be able to help out and work with the families who we were working with. We got to go to Moore on Friday actually and work and lay straw wattle around 2 properties in Moore, basically just to prevent runoff, and to be able to nail a sign into the ground that said future site of a Habitat home in Moore, actually a couple blocks away from Plaza Towers Elementary School, which was hit by the tornado. And so I mean, especially I think for me, having been on other mission trips before, the opportunity to have seen the actual event happen, to drive in the day, see the destruction, and to return less than a year later to see the progress that's been made, to be able to contribute to the further growth and the rebuilding process of Moore was just a phenomenal opportunity, and something that I think it was really, really cool for all of us. We all came away with a different perspective on life and a different perspective on what is important here in the field of meteorology.
Moore continues to rebuild with the help of folks similar to those that lent a hand from Ohio State. For NeoWeather.com, I'm Brian Ivey.